Hello dear students, this is Raksha Shetty and you're watching Edubassa, your homely learning channel. So in this video we are going to learn about the class 7, the bio chapter called as Respiration in Organism. So in this video we'll be concentrating on the topic called as how do we respire. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So these are the content parts of it. So we are going to learn how do we respire, what are the sources of energy, what do you mean by breathing and respiration, what is the difference between that, and what is cellular respiration, what do you mean by anaerobic respiration, how the respiration takes place in yeast, what do you mean by muscle cell respiration, what is muscle cramps, and how do we get the relief from cramps. Yes. So next, why do we respire? So before knowing about how do we respire and why do we respire, see, I will give you one example. Just imagine you children are left for the PT period. What you will do? Obviously, you will play so hard. You will indulge in all of the sport activities. You perform the sports and all. By the end of the PT period, what happens? You tend to respire frequently. You inhale oxygen. You exhale oxygen frequently. Why are you inhaling and exhaling oxygen only during that period of time, and why not during other periods while you are simply watching video right now, isn't it? Why are you not respiring so frequently, and why are you not respiring frequently when you're just sleeping or doing some normal activities? Why is it so? Why you tend to breathe more when you are doing the heavy exercises or heavy activities? What is the reason behind that? So all of that you're going to learn in this chapter very clearly, so please concentrate. Okay, fine. So why do we respire? All organisms are made up of cells, and cells are the smallest structural and functional unit of life. See, what do you mean by cells? Once again, yes, what do you mean by cell? So see, our body is made up of different organs. We have different organ system, be it respiratory system, be it circulatory system, be it digestive system, isn't it? Various systems are present, and that system is made up of organ. For example, respiratory system, lungs is present, isn't it? Now this organ is made up of tissues, and these tissues are made up of cells. Clear? These cells all join together and form tissues. These tissues join together and form organ, and this organ forms organ system. Am I right? Yes. So now you understood what is cell, right? So you might have also learned that amoeba, isn't it? This amoeba is unicellular, right? You might have also learned that yeast is a unicellular organism. The same way we human beings also has got cells. We are multicellular. We have lots and lots of cells. Okay, so amoeba is unicellular, single cell, whereas human beings are multicellular organisms. Now all organisms are made up of cells. Obvious. Why the cells are important? Because it is the structural and functional unit of life. It gives a structure to the body and it performs the various functions, right? So hence cells are the smallest structural and the functional unit of life, just like the battery. So without battery nothing will work, isn't it? Any of the electrical equipments will not work, because it is the cell of the particular electrical equipments, the battery. The same way the cell without cell our body will not work. Okay, so it is the structural and the functional unit of life. These cells perform various functions, be it nutrition, be it transportation, be it excretion, be it reproduction. Okay, what do you mean by nutrition? The food that we take in, that is called as nutrition, and the food that we are taking in, what happens? So what it gets digested, obviously, and the digested food needs to move to that of the cells. How will it move to that of the cells? By the blood, isn't it? So that is basically transportation. In even the oxygen that is we are taking in has to be moved to that of the different cells, that is by the blood, so that is transportation. What is excretion? Excretion is nothing but the waste products. The waste products, it has to reach to where? It has to reach to the what? Kidney. It has to be removed out from our body, right? So that is excretion. Reproduction is giving birth to young ones, and all of these functions are performed by what? The cells. Okay, clear? So yes. Next is source of energy. Which are the sources of energy? How do we get the energy from, and how do we use that particular source of energy? All of that we are going to learn. So the main source of energy is food. Food is the main source of energy. Obviously, I'm sure you all know it. But the food itself is not enough. So food has to be broken down, not during digestion process, I'm telling you. By the process of digestion, the food gets digested by the end of the small intestine, and the digested food through the villi, it reaches to the different cells. You have already learned, isn't it? Reaches to the different cells. Now after reaching to the cells, the digested food, after reaching to that of the cell, just imagine this is cell, after the reaching to that of the cells, it needs to be broken down. Okay, why? In order for the production of energy. After breaking down, the energy is produced. Okay, so this energy is important. Okay, this is produced by this process. Okay, so that, what is that process and all, you're going to learn further. So now just remember, food is the source of energy, and after it reaches to the cells, it will be broken down and produces what? The energy. And why this energy is needed? Obviously, to perform all of the activities, the energy is needed, isn't it? Not only the activities that you perform externally, but also the internal activities that is taking place inside your body, be it respiration, be it excretion, be it reproduction, any of the work that stays you alive. Okay, all of the life processes needs the energy. So we need energy for eating, we need energy for sleeping, running, thinking, and all of the life process that is taking place inside the cells to keep us alive. For that also, the energy is important. Okay, fine. Now the main topic, what is breathing and what is respiration? Ma'am, why are you saying breathing versus respiration? Both are same, right? No, students, breathing and respiration is not the same. They are different. Breathing is different, respiration is different. Breathing is nothing but inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide. O2 is oxygen, CO2 is carbon dioxide. Okay, so breathing is taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide, is called as breathing. Then what do you mean by respiration? Respiration is a whole different thing. I told you now, isn't it? For the production of the energy, the food has to reach to the cells. After reaching the cells, the food will break down and produces the energy, right? So that itself is called as respiration. The breakdown of food to produce the energy is called as what? Respiration. I hope it is clear now. So after breaking down of the food, it not only produces energy, it produces the carbon dioxide as well, and water. This carbon dioxide will be removed out of the body because it is not important for our body. It is toxic to our body. So it has to be eventually removed out by which process? By breathing process. So both are interconnected. But both are not the same, right? Both are not the same. The carbon dioxide will be removed out, then the water again used up by the body. Clear? So respiration is nothing but food is broken down, energy is released, is called as respiration. Then this respiration is also called as cellular respiration. Why do we call it as cellular respiration? By now you might know that the food is broken down where? In the cells, right? For the production of energy. Hence it is taking place in the cells. Hence it is called as cellular respiration. Yes. Next, the main topic, cellular respiration, which is also called as aerobic respiration. So aerobic respiration, there are two types of respiration. One is aerobic, one more is anaerobic, which we are going to learn further. So aerobic, as the name itself says, air means what? Air means oxygen, right? So in the presence of oxygen, the respiration takes place. What is respiration? Breakdown of food to produce the energy, right? So in the presence of air, breaking down of the food to produce the energy is called as aerobic respiration and cellular respiration. Okay, fine. So what happens? Glucose is nothing but the food, right? Glucose is nothing but the food, and oxygen, we are inhaling the oxygen, right, by the breathing process. This takes place in human beings mainly. Okay, by the inhaling process we'll be taking in the oxygen, right? By using that, the food will be broken down where? In the cells of the body. The food is there with the oxygen that we took in by the inhaling oxygen by the breathing process. Then what is formed? The carbon dioxide is formed. This carbon dioxide has to be removed out because it is not needed for our body, so that is removed out again, and the water will be formed. Okay, the water will be formed, that is used up by our body. And main important thing, energy. So this energy is used for the various processes that is taking place inside and outside the body. For that it is important. Clear? Right. So this is how the cellular respiration takes place, I'll tell you. So the through the nose, what we will be breathing what? Oxygen. So this oxygen enters here, this is windpipe, enters here, this is basically bronchioles. Okay, then it enters here. At the end of it, it what terminates like this. Okay, the bronchioles will terminate like this, which is called as alveoli, or alveolar sac basically. Now what happens after it enters here? Now what happens? Now it is connected with the blood vessel. Now this oxygen is taken up by the blood. Then this reaches to the different parts of the body called as cells. Understood? There what happens? Food will be reached by the digestion process already. That food will be broken down with the help of this oxygen, and what is produced? Carbon dioxide, water and energy. This carbon dioxide must be removed out from the body. Again this carbon dioxide goes where? Here to the surface of the alveolar sac. How? Through the blood vessel. And then what happens? Here it enters. So here bronchioles it goes, bronchi it goes, windpipe, and finally this is okay, I'm sorry, from the windpipe it goes, and finally to the outside. Carbon dioxide will be removed out, oxygen will be entering, carbon dioxide will be removed out of the body. I hope it is clear. Yes. So you might have seen, this is the what? Bronchioles, alveolar sac is present over here. Okay, so it is connected to the blood vessels, and from that to the different cells of the body. It enters from here like this, it will enter here, it will enter, and for the different parts of the body it will enter like this. Okay, clear? Yes. Next is anaerobic respiration. So anaerobic respiration is nothing but up to now you have learnt about aerobic respiration. Air, anaerobic, without oxygen. So without oxygen, this is wrong mark. Okay, without oxygen the respiration is taking place. Respiration means what? Breaking down of the food to produce the energy, right? So without oxygen the breaking down of the food takes place for the production of the energy, then it is called as anaerobic respiration. So where it takes place? Obviously in the human beings it will not take place because we respire, isn't it? I mean respire in the sense we breathe in, right? Yes. So yeast cells it is taking place because yeast cells don't breathe. Okay, don't undergo breathing process. So what happens? In the yeast cells this anaerobic respiration takes place. The glucose will be there. Glucose will be broken down without oxygen, obviously, without oxygen, and produces alcohol, carbon dioxide, and energy. This energy is used for the various purposes, and carbon dioxide will be formed, and alcohol, mainly alcohol. This alcohol, I'm sorry about this. Yes, this alcohol, it is used for since the alcohol is produced, it therefore this yeast cells are used to produce the wine as well as beer, because alcohol is produced here, right? Yes. Okay, fine. So as I told you, yeast is a single cell in the sense unicellular organism. Okay, so it undergoes anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic means without oxygen. It produces the alcohol. Since it produces alcohol by undergoing respiration process, it is used for the wine and beer making. So next is muscle cell respiration. So I said that the human beings, right? The human beings, they usually undergo which respiration, aerobic or anaerobic? Tell me. Yes, aerobic, right? Sometimes what happens is nothing but the human beings, when they are doing the heavy exercises, so they tend to breathe more. I told you in the first the introduction part that when you go for the PT period, when you do heavy exercises, you tend to breathe more, right? So what exactly happens is nothing but you breathe more during that time because oxygen is not available to you, right? So you tend to exhale and inhale very frequently. So that is because the oxygen, I mean, you need more energy during that period of time and you need more oxygen. So what happens, the muscle cells will not be getting, the amount of oxygen which has to be gotten, which usually need, the cells need how much amount of oxygen the cells are needed, that much of amount of oxygen is not gotten to where, to that of the muscle cells. So what happens when it is not reached to that of the muscle cells properly, it undergoes anaerobic respiration because the food has to be broken down itself, because energy is important, right? So that's why what happens is nothing but without oxygen itself, the food will be broken down, in the cells, and produces what, the partial breakdown of the food takes place without oxygen and produces the lactic acid and the energy. So this energy is used for the during heavy exercise purpose process. Now what happens is nothing but this lactic acid will accumulate. Okay, lot of lactic acid will be accumulated. So what happens when this lactic acid is accumulated, suddenly muscle cramps happen. So when you are doing heavy exercise and all, you might have observed, isn't it, suddenly muscle cramps takes place. So that is because of the lactic acid accumulation, because of the anaerobic respiration that is taking place in the body during heavy exercises, right? So during that during heavy exercises, since the oxygen supply is less, the muscles will respire anaerobically without oxygen. So the lactic acid is produced obviously, and this lactic acid will be accumulated. This causes the muscle cramps. And how to get relief from the muscle cramps is nothing but obviously after some time, what happens, the proper oxygen supply will be taking place, and after the proper oxygen supply, this lactic acid whatever is formed, it is broken down and produces the carbon dioxide, water and energy. That is nothing but with in the presence of oxygen, it will be broken down into carbon dioxide, water or energy. If you want sudden relief, what you will do, you will massage it with the hot water bath or massage. So what happens, that will improve the blood circulation. Obviously, I have told you, the blood carries the oxygen, isn't it? So the blood supply will be improved. When the blood supply will be improved, more oxygen will be reached to that of the muscles, right? So now what happens, since the oxygen is reached to that of the muscles, now the lactic acid will be broken down completely into what, the carbon dioxide as well as the water and energy. Okay, water and energy. So this is how you get relief from that of the cramps. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much. Let's meet again in the next video. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Until then, keep watching, keep learning, and very very important students, I tell every single time, enjoy while you are learning so that it stays in your mind. Okay, see you, bye bye.